We're live. I'm gonna spare you the dancing. I'm gonna take that out of my news program and I'm gonna relocate the dancing and some other content. Maybe I'll combine it with my cooking videos. Anyway, if you thought the news was really bad yesterday, which it was, it is worse today. I know it's hard to imagine, hard to believe, but that's what Donald Trump's gonna give us. I shouldn't even say his name. Orange Lucifer per Resident Evil. But before I get going and telling you all the news, because I'm going to tell you all the news. If I left anything out today, it's because I said it yesterday. And I'll be telling you some future news, of course, because unlike Donald Trump, I am actually often correct. Unfortunately, about something I've been talking about since the day he got elected. I said there'd be military parades, martial law, and maybe much worse. But we've achieved one or two, a mention of one, another, and oh man, just after I mentioned it, yes, it's so funny, right after I mention stuff sometimes, oh, there it is in the news. What's up, bro? It's funny, yesterday, I'm not gonna dance anymore. Not for this. But the confidence now, I have the confidence to just do that, which, you know, it's a certain level of confidence. So, and I need that. So, but I think this doing the news is a good exercise. Getting better and better at not procrastinating doing it is overall affecting my procrastination. Avoidance is one of the side effects of PTSD. And it looks like through this channel, not only the therapeutic value of expelling all this evil, which is the news that Donald Trump generates, I think it's pretty good for just my ability to push past procrastinating. And pushing past procrastinating one thing helps you push past procrastinating everything. And that's what you need to do after some sort of traumatic event. Oh man, and it's just so sad, all these red places, Republican voting places, that now there's disasters still happening, and Trump doesn't want to have to do anything. His government doesn't want to govern. They just want to leave everything to the states. Just, like abortion. Let's let the states pay for education and for emergency relief and for everything. We'll just leave it to the states, That's exactly the stupidity that we're dealing with. Anyway, at the very end, I'm going to save the worst news because it's so bad for the very end, I think. I'm going to try to do that. But there's just some monumentally bad news that it's breaking news. But of course, you saw, still no one's reported on the thing I've already reported on, which is you can buy 1,500 beers from Moosehead, or 1,461 for every day in Trump's time in office. Get yourself a crate of beer. That's just fucking awesome. And I've been scouring the news. Nobody in the news talking about that. So here I am, breaking cutting edge stories, keeping you in the know. The presidential pack of beer. Oh, God love Canada. I went to the store looking to buy Moose. They didn't have any Canadian beer. And now Molson is one of the companies that donated. Yeah, I think they were purchased by somebody. They're one of the companies that donated to Project 2025, the Nazi manifesto, the Nazification of America. Know the list. Know the list. Punish them for the rest of your life. I love seeing people are actually punishing Amazon. I don't use Amazon. I already don't like Amazon, so it's easy for me to not use what I'm not doing. But other people are giving up. Aloha. Other people are giving up their Amazon addiction. It's so great. And they're not going to Target and Walmart, but they're going to Costco because Costco kept their DEI. Unfortunately, even Costco prices are going to go up. But yeah, this is the way we get our sweet revenge, watching Tesla just fall apart. Aloha, brother. Yeah, I've got some future news for you. I just went out because I love our brothers to the north so much. I'm not really a whiskey drinker. I'll probably have one drink at a time, one a day. I won't have one every day, but every 3 days, maybe have one shot, because I like my coffee black and I like my whiskey neat. I went out and bought some Crown Royal. Yeah, because I'm not buying whiskey from any place the Canadians aren't buying whiskey from either, because I support democracy. So if you want to support democracy, I think your business will do better. So if you don't know it, this is kind of cool. This is the back. This is the back of every Crown Royal. This is a great story. An old story, breaking news. Blended Canadian whiskey, exceptional smoothness. Originally crafted as a gift for the King and Queen of England. Crown Royal represents the standard of excellence for blended Canadian whiskey. Fine Deluxe achieves the perfect balance between unrivaled smoothness and superbly layered flavors of vanilla, oak, butterscotch, clove, and nutmeg. Well, I don't know about all that, but I just think it's a great story. I have served alcohol to 1 million people, and I have served a lot of Crown Royal to guys who only drink Crown Royals. There's people like that. It's interesting phenomenon. And often they do not know that story, and it's right there on the back of every bottle. Anyway, if I feel the need to drink in the next 30 minutes, I've got that on standby. I've got a glass on standby. Should I drink any whiskey, it will be neat. Go Canada. Oh my goodness. Okay, so let's get into the news. There's so much of it. Oh God, it's so sad. Okay. It's what's amazing is how much everything Republicans complain about is their fault, right? They need to do all this stuff to be fiscally responsible because of all of the financial mess that they've created in our government. It's always been, and the majority of all of the fiscal irresponsibility has been Republicans, especially in the last Republican term when we added $2 trillion every year, $8 trillion to our debt under Trump, because we didn't tax the rich at all, and so we didn't bring money in, and we just spent it like they say liberals. It's the wrong word. Liberal is the wrong word for Democrats. They have been the only fiscally responsible politicians in my lifetime, and the only politicians who've added any jobs. And isn't it easy to see Trump's definitely not adding jobs, as he's firing people for the fun of it and just cruelly saying that it's, because the Republicans have all the morals. They're the good Christians among us. They fire people with punity, telling their next employer, they can't get unemployment. They're pulling the rug out and not letting them get unemployment by saying that it was for poor performance, right? That's how you really screw someone over. You fire them and you say it's for poor performance, not because you're downsizing or whatever, or because of the pandemic. When I got laid off at the Ritz-Carlton for the pandemic, they didn't say it was for poor performance. They said it was for the pandemic, right? Can you imagine being dishonest about that just to be cruel, right? That's the Republican Party, which doesn't need to exist. They do nothing positive, good. They do nothing but harm. They kill women by denying women reproductive health care. They kill children with their stupid gun laws every day. It is just unbelievable. They're killing us by, they just took away, we're not going to test for all the pollutants in the water anymore. So, there'll be no pollutants in the water, no more PFAS chemicals or lead to worry about, because we won't test for it, because those people just got fired. Oh my God. So it's day 54. Not my president. So sad for those people. Absolutely so cruel. I know. Oh my God. And Social Security. Did you know the chef Matt over there at the Ritz? Matt. maybe. Probably. Man, I mean, that's the first name. There's so many names. I had 600 fellow employees there. Um, anyway, yeah, it was great. I may try to apply for a job there again. I wonder if they'll dig this up and look at this and like not hire me. Anyway, I'm curious about re-entering the job market, knowing anyone can Google me. This stuff will come up. It's got my name on it. So, you know, would that have an effect? Will it have an effect? Would anybody actually? I don't know, but people do that these days. Turns out George Carlin was wrong. He was right about one thing. I think it was in the same diatribe. He was right that we should get rid of golf. And when golfers sold us out and butted up to Mohammed bin Salman, the MBS, the leader of the Live Golf, the leader of Saudi Arabia, who is an atrocious human being who murdered Jamal Khashoggi, amongst other terrible things. Mind you, it's not a conspiracy theory. Every single one of the people who killed themselves to perpetrate terrorism on 9/11, they were all from Saudi Arabia. Osama bin Laden is from Saudi Arabia. Anyway, so yeah, George Carlin was right that golf is useless. And I'll never watch it again. I'll never play it again. I'll never feed that sport now that I know that the people involved are just, have no soul. And so, but he was, so he was right about that. But he was wrong that it doesn't matter who you vote for, right? He said, I don't vote because it don't matter who you vote for. Yeah, it really does matter who you vote for. And, oh boy, we're seeing that now. As democracy died today. And I'll explain that at the end of this video. The most breaking news about how democracy died today. You already may have seen it, right? Already may have seen it. Okay, new travel ban. It's not just going to be 7 countries. It's going to be 17. 10 instead of 7 of totality, and then 5 with some on the margins, and then 2 more with some more on the margins. But 17 countries travel ban. That's coming up, or it already happened. Little Dick Johnson. Yes, we are seeing that now. Yes. Yeah. And all of this is so good for commerce and travel and freedom. This is freedom, you know, expressed by these Republicans who really, they stand for freedom, don't they? As they are disappearing people, they disappeared that nice guy, the Khalil guy from Columbia University, just peacefully protesting about the least threatening person you could ever arrest, detain, and send to Louisiana, 2,000 miles away from his wife, 8 months pregnant, and then others and Colombia is complying with them, and then Colombia is losing $400 million while they're helping these guys round up. They dismissed, they took away, all the people who protested, they unfriended them and made them not students anymore and took away their everything. And why would anyone go to Columbia University ever again? I mean, I would not feel safe there. Anyway, but that plays into what the Republicans want to do. They want to especially intimidate universities in blue states, right? So, and it's amazing how while I'm able to do this, still CNN, MSNBC, Washington Post, especially, people are afraid. Washington Post just changed its whole, it got rid of its opinion sections, made it a bunch of bullshit. It's going to be about Republican lies, about, yeah, it's just going to be sad. And that's Jeff Bezos, and people are not using Amazon. Please stop using Amazon. It's so great. It's so good for your local businesses. My God, pay an extra $1. You know, talk to somebody when you buy it. Ask them how they're doing when you're buying something from them in your town. You know? So I got something quick, funny, weird. I talked about aliens last time and some of the things I can't unsee. And this is one of them. This is just the funniest thing, maybe, and the weirdest thing. And I can't unsee it. And I do think Stephen A. Smith is maybe an alien. I know, sounds crazy. Why would I think Stephen A. Smith might actually be an alien? Well, first of all, we have been told by some really credible people that aliens are among us, right? So that really kind of begs the question, you know. But check this out. Okay, this is interesting, I think. All right, check it out. So this is Stephen A. Smith. And this, you can look up Stephen A. Smith eyes change, and you'll find all this. But his eyes change here, right? Let's see if I can get this. Okay, look at this. This is so interesting to me, right? Like an alien, right? It's so amazing. Look at that. Oh, you see that? Oh my God. So the guy's gonna play it back, and he's gonna pause it right on it. But is Stephen A. Smith an alien? I know he annoys me as much as Skip Bayless. I wish both of them were not doing the jobs that they have. I wish they would retire and just go away. Skip Bayless and this guy. Wish they just get married and move to Aruba. Here we go. You ready? Here goes his eyes. He's gonna watch this. Watch this. Watch this. Watch this. Here we go. Here we go. He's gonna pause it right on it. This is so interesting. Is this guy an alien? There, look at that. Look at that. Look at those eyes. The eyes change. Anyway, that's it. Stephen A. Smith's eyes change. If you've never seen that, I cannot unsee it. I cannot forget it. It makes me wonder. Is that guy really? I mean, if an alien wants to try to obfuscate the fact that he's an alien, if you act like a fool like that guy does all the time, like Skip Bayless, I mean, that would throw people off the scent. How could he be an alien? He's such a bombastic human. Anyway, it makes me wonder. All right, so okay, that was my other little fun commercial thing. Okay, break. Okay, Canada just canceled a F-35 order. So, and that's one of the few things we are good at selling around the world is weapons that kill people, and we sell them to everybody. And we're selling some to the Canadians because they used to be our friends before we had a racist, bigot, rapist, traitor, insurrectionist in the White House, working for the Russians, working for Putin. It's crazy. Oh my God, the AI. There's all these AI videos. I gotta learn how to do that. Probably wouldn't take much, but oh my God, these images. I'm gonna take pictures of them and just make them the cover page of my videos because they're so good. They're just all the different images of, like the one on the cover here. That, if you don't know it, that image came from HUD. Was it one of the government agencies that these bastards, these un-American traitors who are just rudely, and the part where they just go in and pull the fire alarm and then don't let them back into their office. I mean, they have to leave without their things even. Like, they're treated like criminals, just like these hard-working Mexicans. And, you know, they're working 80 hours a week picking your food, and you want to criminalize them. I mean, come on. Oh, but meanwhile, hey, let's invite Andrew Tate, a rapist, a child rapist, onto the streets and celebrate. Why? Because looks like young Barron Trump is gross. It's been reported that he's the reason, you know. It's this gross world of loving Joe Rogan, hating women, loving Andrew Tate. It's gross. Totally gross. And I guess the horrible people who watch Joe Rogan are these Republicans, you know, because he's owned all the he had all the Nazis on there, and then all the Republicans became his fans, and he moved to Texas. But they're threatening Midas Touch. The Midas Touch took over, right? Democracy is emerging. It's rising. They have 5 million subscribers, almost, and they are the most widely seen and listened to podcasts in the world. Good job, Midas Touch. I've been here with you since the beginning. Yeah, all these snowflake sissy Republicans that love Joe Rogan, they're threatening Midas Touch, or they're trying to, disrupt their channels and whatnot, and it's laughable, and it's treasonous. It's what an insurrectionist would do, who's too stupid to know that if you try to overthrow your government, that don't make you a hero or a patriot, makes you a traitor. Just imagine being that stupid. It'd be so hard to be that dumb. Like, you'd have to be kicked in the head a few times, or born without enough oxygen, maybe. I don't know. Fascinating. Okay. And this $680 million, $440 million taken from food banks and kids' free lunches, so that we can give money to billionaires, literally. Starving children, starving the poor families, starving the children that are in these red districts. Republicans are more often than not the recipients of all this stuff. In the rural areas of Texas and Louisiana and Alabama, Mississippi. Oh, by the way, ravaged, right? Baseball-sized hail in Texas and tornadoes ripping through Alabama, Louisiana, Mississippi. Would today be a good day to vote to acknowledge that the climate's changing and the climate is destroying your state? That's the amazing thing about these southern states. The brunt of the teeth of all the climate crisis, the climate evil weather, hits Republican states. They lose everything, and they don't think, hey, maybe we should start voting for the environment now? After we lost everything the third time, maybe we should try to care about the environment. Vote for the environment, not against it. Voting against the environment in a prelude to losing everything in a catastrophe just isn't logical. So, I mean, I'm just saying, it doesn't really make any rational sense. All right. Oh, this is interesting. We just figured out how to freeze light. How to make light into a solid, right? Like water, right? How's that? We froze light. New scientific thing, which is all going to die because Republicans will freeze science. We just fired all of our scientists, because why do we need science? We don't need to cure cancer anymore. My mother's side is in Alabama, Cherokee. Oh, Choctaw, I can't get a hold of them. Oh, man, I'm so sorry. And those are the, as much as I'd like to think of myself as a real American, I mean, my ancestors invaded. It's the Native Americans that are the real Americans, and they're being questioned as to whether or not they're legal. It's not funny. It's gross. But it's just unbelievable how detached Republicans are from reality. They just have no clue. Every time I hear a Republican say, this is what the American people want. No, it isn't, ever. Whenever you hear Republicans say that, it's so far from the truth. It's totally amazing. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's crazy to say that the American people want anything Republicans have ever said. Everything's a lie. Everything's projection. Everything's the opposite. And it's obvious. Anyway, everyone's retaliating against our horrible president, and against the United States of America, which we are part of. And it's sad because it doesn't really represent the majority of us at all. And I think we've shaken a few of these, people who had IQs borderline. They were just dumb enough to be a Republican for a while until they realized Republicans are terrible people. As they steal their veterans benefits, they're firing the veterans and taking veterans benefits away. Breaking news, it just happened. Social Security gets interrupted right now. Call your mom. Call your dad, whatever you can do to help people that are old, that are about to lose their Social Security. Stop getting checks. You might want to think about helping them, especially if they didn't vote for this, right? But maybe help them anyway, even if they did vote for it, because they're your mom. When I play video games, I never say anything to anybody, but every once in a while, I just chime in the middle of a video game, because there's type you can put that everyone on both sides can see. And I just say, "Hi, Mom." And there'll be a conversation pre-existing, and then no one will understand why I said that in the middle of whatever they were saying. I laugh at my own jokes. No one ever gets them, or not, in that case, they don't. It provokes interesting responses. Yes, Tesla gets the biblical backlash. I don't think that Tesla has seen the end of its pain. No one in Europe's ever going to buy another Tesla. No one in Canada will ever buy another Tesla. They just revoked the tax incentives. Me and my husband worked 40 years. Where in Alabama? So the storms. So the Democratic senators capitulated, and in that continuing resolution, apparently there's some really bad language, giving up all control. Oh yeah. I once was on this. You worked for Social Security for 40 years. Oh man, yeah. When I rode a bicycle across the United States of America in the summer of 1989 on Interstate 10 through Mobile, Alabama, I was on the cover of Section B in the Mobile Press Register. I should have you know, although that wasn't what you were referring to. So, nevertheless, that burned up in the fire. But you never know. Maybe I'll go by there and they'll still have it. No, in Washington State, won't never. Yeah, lots of people are going to lose the Social Security, veterans benefits, Social Security benefits. Inexplicably, many people who weren't smart enough to not vote for this. I think it's time we start calling Mark Rubio Small Hands Mark Rubio again. That needs to be his name. It's all we got, man. Yeah, we got to make fun of these guys. Lil Wayne Mullins. Russ the Puss. I don't know. Oh, Cash Yap. We got Cash Yap Patel. I wish someone would start using his real name. In this really interesting debate in a state legislature in Utah, Oklahoma, one of these red states, they were trying to just do awful things, make awful laws against trans people. And after a speech, this old man got up there and was like, "I'm sorry, I was wrong. I believe the lies that the Republicans have been telling me. And after listening to this person's testimony for 2 minutes, my mind has changed. These are good people just the same as everybody else, these trans people, and I will never trust Republicans ever again." So that's in the news because it's so noteworthy. Todd Blanche is calling. How's that, right? They let domestic terrorists out on the streets, people who violently try to overthrow our government, kill our congressman, kill the vice president. They never called them terrorists, right? Then they're going after Luigi Mangione, he a terrorist. And now protesters are terrorists because they lawfully protest, right? Which is a step to try to keep us from protesting, right? I mean, Americans are so ornery. I just don't see this going over well because, I mean, I see all of us just dying on this hill, fighting for our country. Like, I just see so many people which gives me confidence to speak up and speak out. But I mean, I just keep seeing all these people saying, "I'm not going back down." Oh my God, Mark Elias. This guy was just mentioned by Trump. The greatest guy. If you watch YouTube, Mark Elias, I mean, he's out there. He's the one fighting for all of us, filing the right lawsuits that protect people's rights and the Constitution and doing the dirty work. Of course, Trump's now targeted him and said his name when he was at the DOJ as people he wants to go after because he has completely weaponized the government, right? Yeah, Musk. Well, yeah. I mean, if we're gonna start taking people who became citizens, naturalized citizens, rights away, then Elon Musk, Melania, let's take theirs away, right? Oh, so I mentioned it like the last episode. I said, you know who's gonna be next, and publicly next will be the Asian community. And then, holy shit! Literally this morning, I see all these. There are TikTokers and whatnot doing videos saying, "You Asian, us, buy an Asian to fellow Asians, Americans, saying." Oh, don't think they're not coming after us next, right? Because these racist traitors, these insurrectionists, the domestic terrorists, when they look at an Asian, they don't think that that's a real American, right? Best thing is, there are just states where, here, less than 20% of the population are white people. California, it's less than 30% of the population. So how's that going to work? My grandmother on my dad's side is Japanese from World War II. Oh, and by the way, if you don't know the awful thing, and God love the Japanese, my best friend growing up was Japanese. I had no idea. I grew up in that house, and his parents never said anything about being locked up as children. And then when I did the math, I talked to him about it when I was in my 30s. I was like, wait a second, I did the math. You had to have been locked up, right? And they're like, oh, yeah. And they explained, they opened up about it. The Watanabes, man, great people. I think they're both still alive in their 90s. I pray they are. I haven't seen them for a while. Anyway, so we just invoked I was going to tell you this at the end, but we just invoked we've just gone to war, okay? We've gone to war. If you didn't know it, we're at war. And apparently Venezuela invaded us with immigrants, and we had to go to war. So now we have the legal right to detain people, just like we did in World War II. Exact same way. It's just this blanket right we were giving ourselves based on this 1898 sick and twisted law that says hurt people. This is your lease. Here, go ahead. If you do this, then you can just hurt people. And of course, it's a predecessor to martial law, which, and I hate to say it, told you so. Oh God, martial law, I gotta have a drink of whiskey. Let's celebrate our Canadian friends. God bless you guys. I haven't had any hard alcohol for, 2-3 years, but this is the day that democracy died. And let's all fight to try to get it back. I'll stay on here and fight until they lock me up. One of the assaults they're gonna make next, and this is just, it's gonna hurt me real bad because I have just a little bit of savings to protect me a little bit in the short run, thanks to my mom passing away and her husband only stealing half of her money. Me and my 2 siblings got 1/3 of what was left, and he's gonna try to attack money, right? Making my coffee right after dinner. Oh, I could just add the whiskey to my coffee. Celebrate the Irish. Anyway, I think Irish whiskey was, I think that was invented at the Buena Vista Cafe restaurant, the one that's famous on the corner where the cable car in Fisherman's Wharf does its turnaround. I think that's where the Irish coffee was invented. Speaking of that, anyway, totally not related. But it's always fun learning stuff and knowing stuff. I love learning about my country. I love my country. God, I hate seeing all this crap. I just pray that all the states that have been infected like herpes with Republican ideology change and go blue, and then let's get rid of the Republican Party and start a party that focuses even more on the working poor, women's rights, the rights of children not to get shot, clean air and clean water, clean soil, and peace on earth. Right? That would be appropriate. What we need is one party that doesn't want to spend as much on defense, maybe, right? To actually challenge that narrative a little bit. That would be a sensible second party. The one we have now, the Nazi second party, why is that some sort of equivalent, moral equivalent, or, oh, we need two parties? No, we don't need two parties. If that's one of them, I saw this all coming during Standing Rock. Oh, God, I know. And that's, they're going to go after everything. Native Americans' land and exploit it, national park land and exploit it, take it, destroy it, drill it, mine it, log it. I mean, every bad thing that a government could possibly do is what we're watching right now. I mean, it's not even like they were like, hey, let's take it easy on this group of people because most of them are Republicans, like farmers or ranchers, right? They are slaughtering their own. And it's so sad. And then, of course, J.D. Vance is either owns part of or is involved in the corporation that's going to soak up all these farms that go out of business. J.D. Vance going to get rich off that, right? Oh, my God. The insults. I'd like to try to create... I can smell that vanilla. Did you know whiskey is better for performing surgery with than any other kind of hard alcohol? If you got vodka or whiskey and you got to perform surgery with, sterilizing shit, apparently this is actually the best. And if you didn't know it, according to the stuff I've looked up, which is really interesting, this is the one kind of hard alcohol that has polyphenols, You know that guy that tells you got to drink a whole bunch of olive oil to live long, Mediterranean diet, all that olive oil stuff because of the polyphenols? Well, supposedly there's polyphenols in here too. I don't know how much or what. Same with double brewed beer, the double overhead IPA, or IPAs in general, brewed twice. No, well, yeah. Well, the person needed to drink it. That was general anesthetic. You can drink enough of it to numb you for surgery. It's just a fine line between numbed enough for surgery and brain damage. That's the problem with it. It does work as a general anesthetic completely. It's just such a fine line between a good time and death. Which, I mean, with all the reporting on the ketamine use of Elon Musk, I mean, could he just die like a Friends star any day? I wonder. Okay. Let's see. Yeah. So yeah, this the disappearance of people. This is so scary, right? So scary. Pretty soon I'm going to be disappeared just because I'm, and that's the thing. He's going after anybody that insults him or that challenges him. And I'm doing everything I can to insult this traitor. This every chance I get. It's got to be annoying to listen to me. Just so angry and using descriptive adjectives that are accurate about seditious, insurrectionist, racist, woman-hating, Jew-hating traitors. Anyway, Wisconsin. There is a race in Wisconsin for Supreme Court that Elon Musk is trying to purchase. God, I wish I could find some rich billionaire that wanted to purchase a race for me. Just give me the chance to get in there and beat. I got 3 places I could move to, I think, and take out a Republican out of the Senate. Yeah. Oh, God. Yeah, so much traitors doing traits. So much trading going on. Excuse me. You can't consume enough cannabis in this current environment to stay sane. All right, pardon me. And that, who knows? That could be from the fire. Who knows? Do I dare? Oh, God, man. Someone makes me do that even though I didn't drink it. Okay. All right. So yeah, war powers. The war powers have just been invoked, literally today, from Aurora, right, where it's taken over by migrants. The Tren de Nicaragua, whoever the Tren de Aguas, whatever they are, that's who's invaded our country, and that's why we're at war. If you didn't know, we've been at war. Apparently, we need troops in the streets. Good job, Republicans. You did so good electing this president. Oh my God. Okay. Now I need a drink. Just the thought of this guy being elected is the saddest thing. It's the saddest thing. And anybody who has a soul, who cares about anything, is just devastated right now. And that's affecting the overall economy. So let's talk about the stock market, because it's going to keep sucking. Because everyone's afraid. No one's booking. No one wants to spend. No one knows what's coming. So much trade and tourism has been disrupted. Supply chains have been disrupted. Countries hate us now. It took 54 days. All right, I'll wait for you. Took 54 days to get all of our friends around the world to hate us, while North Korea, Russia celebrate us. How's that? God bless you. Yeah, I can't do that because I'm in FEMA housing, and I do not want to incriminate myself on camera here. I may go out in public somewhere, of course, where I would only imbibe. But yeah. Otherwise, if I was in any other circumstance, I just might be smoking. You know, because I think that would make me seem cool on camera if I was smoking some weed. I think that's what got Joe Rogan popular in the first place, amongst cool people. And then he became a racist traitor. Candace Owens, Nick Fuentes, racist traitor after another. Fucking Ben Shapiro, the beanie wearing. What? He's voting with the Jew haters. What's up with you guys? That's a block. If you don't know this, the vast majority of the Orthodox Jews in New York City, like 70,000 people, they all voted for Trump. They all voted for the administration of Heil Hitler's, of Zig Heil's. I mean, I can't. It's hard to wrap my head around. You know what I mean? Oh, cheers to you. Aloha. Yeah, smooth. Boy, those Canadians make good whiskey. Yeah. I used to be a bourbon drinker. And then, oh God, and if you haven't heard these stories, these are heartbreaking. And these are just going to add fuel to the fire. Oh my God, if I'm a Canadian, I would hate America, or at least Donald Trump and all the Republican states. I would be so furious. We are detaining law-abiding, beautiful people who happen to be from Canada, who are here hiking or working, from other countries too. But these are the white people that's gonna offend, people on a whole nother level, right? And they're just this. I mean, these women are bearing witness inside these industrial prisons, profit prisons, which is probably a good place to put your money right now in Wall Street, which is really gross to say, but it's one of the only safe places for your money right now, is being an owner in one of the companies that's profiting from harming people, which is awful. And but and speaking of that, all of Peter Thiel's companies, prison. Oh my God, that's true. They're like prison REITs. Never thought of it like that. That's a great association. Real estate investment trusts are a safe place for your money. They all came down. They were all halved when interest rates went up, and they never went back up, and they all paid 12%. and they're not really budging. While the whole stock market loses 10%, they're staying like that. So, but I don't know if it's ever a good time when the stock market. I think the stock market's going to drop. I don't think what we just saw is the bottom of the training range. In other words, right? What was it, 4,800, something like that, 40,000. So it's come down 10%, bounced up a 0.5%. Oh, there are prison REITs. I didn't even know that. I haven't been following Wall Street that closely. Holy shit. Oh my God. Oh, I'm going to do a deep dive on that. I'm going to learn that because I just want to and need to. And I wonder what dividends they pay. Because, see, REITs have to pay 90% of their income out in dividends, which is why they're attractive. They're just a dividend haul. You can get 10, 15, that's 20%, 18%, which is just unheard of. If you go to your bank and ask for, how much can I get from you guys? They'll say, oh, about a point and a half, maybe 2% on a CD for, if you lock it up for 5 years. I don't know. Anyway, versus 10, 12, 15, at the very least like 8 or 9%. But yeah, so wow, I didn't even know that. I've been following Wall Street my whole life, but I've kind of had no reason to for a while, and just kind of, I don't watch it. But then my mom passed away, and one of the things what she left me was the worst portfolio I've ever seen after studying portfolios my whole life and companies, and oh my God, it was 9 shares of this and 10 shares of that. Some of them were 90 cents a share. Some of her stake holdings were worth $9 and $30. This guy was making purchases for $30 in stock, and so he could get a cha-ching. So yeah, but anyway, and yeah, I parked. I've taken my own advice. Although the 2 stocks I kept that she had out of 70 was a little bit of Ford and a little bit of AT&T, and Ford is now on the down because of yeah. Oh, did you hear? There's a 100% tariff now, I think, on American auto cars in Europe. So they're not going to buy any American cars, or in Canada, right? Oh, so sad. And the price of a Dodge pickup truck just went from $80,000 to $100,000. So that hurts our God bless America rednecks that need a good truck at a good price, or at least one less than $100,000. Oh, cheers, Canada! Thanks for this beautiful Crown Royal whiskey. It does have a nice aroma. It's a sipping whiskey. It's quite smooth. Really, it's kind of a sweeter whiskey in a way. Nice though, good job. And what a nice color, purple. Did you know that's the color of royalty? You know that the first money on earth was purple dye. Before money became money, people traded purple dye as money. Aloha. So yeah, it's kind of interesting. The color of royalty, purple. The first money 6,000 years ago was purple dye because it was the color of royalty, I guess, and it was the most valuable thing. And so it goes. All right. So yeah, this company Core Civic has this just released her maybe after 2 weeks. They detained a woman with a 4-month visa who was coming back for a new job, a Canadian girl from Mexico, and they just locked her up. They just disappeared her. I mean, oh, and she's just one of many, and she's going to be the voice of many. Not to mention there is the girl locked up who was on a hiking trip, like doing the Pacific Trail. Nice Canadian girl. Yeah. We're just beating the shit out of our friends and ourselves, all in the name of the Republican Party. And that's what needs to be remembered. This isn't Trump. It's Trump, but it's the Republican Party. We need to punish them forever. Any associations they have, any of their people, everything that's Republican. They're all complicit in all of these crimes. And the Republican Party I think, should be eliminated. There's no need for it at all. Um, all right. I think that's most of the news. Isn't it great? Um, yeah. Oh, there's so many little notes here. I keep having to add one more thing. One more thing. um, yeah. And if you're seeing some other news that I didn't cover here, I covered it yesterday or the day before, because this is all the news. I watch all the news. It's a bad habit, but processing it here with you, I think is good. It's helping me overcome my PTSD. I won't dance anymore. I'm gonna separate that out. Thanks again for putting up with that. It was good in a way though for me, shaking it out. And it reminds me that that's a healthy thing to do. I should dance more. I still haven't figured out how to dance like no one's watching, because that's when I really do my best work. Oh, what's that? Yeah, upside down Constitution? Oh, and how about all these military vets? We're firing. Oh, God, it's awful. And we're saying that they didn't do their jobs well. Veterans who then went to work to serve other veterans. Not to mention, everything. How about we're taking help away from retired canines, canine dogs. We're taking help away from the 9/11 survivors, the people who went in there and pulled bodies out and who breathed death, who need medical care. We're pulling the rug out from them because that's a partisan issue, right? Republicans literally never do anything good in any way, shape, or form. Never have in my lifetime. The best Republican of my lifetime was the one we impeached. Yeah, right on. Imagine this, right? This horrible person who's running the EPA now to destroy it. The EPA was the brainchild of Richard Nixon, right? Because even he was a patriot enough not to want to kill Americans with pollution, right? No matter how bad he was, whatever crimes he committed, he didn't commit that crime, right? If climate was right now, if we had lead in gasoline and it was coming down on us and it was killing us like it was then, right? Lee Zeldin, thanks. We gotta find ways to make fun of him. Let's see, how was he teased with that last name, Zeldin? I'm sure he was teased if he became this much of an asshole. Doesn't mean you're gonna become an asshole. You can become a nice person. I know, so sad. This guy is just criminal. He's gonna rape everything and pillage everything. And they think when they're telling us how great it is, we're deregulating. Let's talk about deregulation. This is a great subject because in my lifetime, there was this big financial crisis from 1986 to 1982, lasted 6 years. The savings and loan crisis. Why did we have that crisis? Ta-da! Because of deregulation. We made it too easy for them to fuck up their balance sheets, steal from us and each other, and they did. And so it became a big financial crisis because we didn't have enough regulation. All right. Let's see, when was the next crisis? That was the dot-com crisis, the stock market crisis. And perhaps regulation would have helped offset that. That's a good question. What might have helped us avoid that one? Because that was just kind of just this crazy exuberance in the market for dot-coms that, just jacked everything up. It was kind of weird. But of course, that happened under, just like 86 to 92, that's all Republican, 100%, the last crisis. Then, although it got going during Clinton. The dot-com crisis happened under George Bush, of course. And then twice, the two big crises there. And the second one, why? Because of deregulation, 2008 banking crisis. Why? Because of deregulation, right? Like, it's just such a great thing, making it so you can pollute or not keep reserves against the loans you're making. Anyway, and let's keep going. Anyway, and then we create the Dodd-Frank Act to regulate the things we should have. What did Republicans do in 2016? They tossed that out because they don't want regulation that's going to protect us from huge catastrophes financially. So, at the same time as all this is going on, we're deregulating everything, which is going to lead to some catastrophes. It's not good. It's not good for anybody or anything. Oh, we're just going to unleash hell on earth, and that's going to be good for us all, because then we're going to all be rich. We'll have money. We won't be able to breathe or eat or drink water, but you'll all have lots of money from all the resources we just pillaged. But who's going to get that money? Corporations, government? Like, it ain't going to be you or me. It's just the weirdest shit that they say. But yeah, it's so weird where they're like, oh man, what we really need to do is, those tariffs are going to help us. Not taxing the billionaires, that's really going to help us. Oh yeah, deregulating. Making it so corporations can really fuck us over. It's nauseating. And nothing Republicans ever say or do makes any sense. Is ever in any way good. None of it's moral. There's no morality amongst these depraved deplorables. Boy, if there's one thing Hillary was right about, is deplorable. That's who these people are. Although I think that's way too soft a word. There's way worse words. Oh, South Africa says, screw you. Or no, excuse me. We said, screw you to South Africa. And we're deporting South Africa's ambassador to the United States. Why? Because he doesn't appreciate, anybody that says anything negative about these Republican insurrectionist, rapist traitors. We got to get rid of them. So he was critical of this piece of shit president, like any normal person would be. And so we got to deport that guy and have bad relations. We were allies with South Africa until today. And it just goes on and on. Going after lawyers. At least lawyers, they can sort of defend themselves. I don't know. It's all just so unnerving. Whoa. I just felt a little bit of that Crown Royal. Interesting. All right. So that's all the news. Goddamn. I should get this in under an hour. I need to do these maybe more often, maybe twice a day. What I really need to do is like all these other guys, they get all the views, is take a clip in there, put it in, just do one subject. But then there's these 30 other subjects, and I just want to cover them all. Get them out like demons. Because tomorrow, there's going to be a whole bunch of new worse news. What's going to be tomorrow? Bad news. Worse news than today. No matter how bad it was today. That's right. Democracy died today. People are being disappeared. My country's turning into a Nazi state. And tomorrow's going to be even worse. I don't know how, but I promise you Republicans will deliver on that. That's the only promise they've come through on, is we're going to destroy everything you love. There'll be no joy under Republicans' rule. Anyway, and it's important for me to do this just in case there's one person out there that sees this that's not informed at all, because this is all the information. This is everything that happened, okay? So, and that's what I find. When I'm out on the street, how about one more? Hell yeah. All right. Let's have, cheers to you. Cheers to you, John. Love you, bro. Don't know you, but I feel like I know you. Oh, man. And I just keep writing little messages to all my heroes. Like, hey, man, check out my channel. I think you'll like my video. I'll never listen to Joe Rogan again. Like they're going after the Midas Touch people, right? I'm like, you guys, I just need one of these famous, guys that I love, Texas Paul or Tennessee Brando or any of them, any of the Midas Touch boys, just notice me. Give me a shout out, take a clip of me telling you the truth, or taking a drink of Crown Royal. Oh, that's future news. Future news. You ready? Future news. I promise you. This is the future news here on All Good Things at All Good Time. Future news. Sales spike of Crown Royal. I don't know why. Even though they just went up 50, 100%, however much it goes up in price. God bless you, Canada. We love you. And I'm so sorry. We are embarrassed about our president. That is the God awful truth, the God's honest truth. It's so sad. So sad. Anyway, let's pray. Let's hope. In the meantime, if you got some space in your yard and a whole bunch of money, I think they probably make prefabricated bomb shelters. So we got martial law coming. We declared war today. Martial law coming. Military parade's coming. And then how long before these dipshits, these Christo-fascist dipshits, create a holy war with Iran? Oh, we just decided we're going to bomb, because it is a holy war, we're going to bomb Yemen. This morning, we decided we're going to just bomb the shit out of them Houthi rebels in Yemen, because they're brown skinned, they're Islamic, they're not like us, so we got to take them out, like all the black females, any women working, anybody with brown skin working in any job, you should be fired according to the Republicans. They don't think you can do your job. How the hell are we going to get by like that if we fire all the people that are brown skinned? In Hawaii, that's everybody. California, that's 82% of the population. So 82% of the workforce ain't white. So it's just so much work that the racist white inferiorists want me to do. I can't do all that work for, filling in for 82% of the population. Plus, I'm over 50. I'm ordering off the back page at Denny's now. So that means I'm on the outs. I'm not included anymore anyway. I'm already too old. So, anyway, all right. Cheers to Canadian whiskey. I think that's the only one. I was looking at all the shelf, like, is VO. I think there's, but even like Molson, Canadian, that's not an American, Canadian company really anymore. Whereas Crown Royal, I'm pretty sure definitely is Canada. Let's make sure it's made in Canada. Let's check the made in Canada label to make sure I'm buying the right products. God bless you, Canadians. I'm so sorry. It's so sad. It's so sad. Imported by the Crown Royal Company in New York. So that's going to be one of the companies that is completely negatively affected. Just some American jobs, so it's imported. Yeah, product of the Crown Royal. There's no made in. There's no made in Canada sign on there, but I think it's pretty safe to assume. Anyway. All right. 62 minutes. It's too long. I gotta do this in less time. But this is the evening news. It's funny. I've been watching the evening news too. And, it's interesting. News is changing. The news landscape is changing. And for some reason, I have been following it my whole life, pretty much, way too much. But now I'm reporting on it, and that is, it feels good. How about the 20,000? It's got 20,000 workers ordered to be rehired, which is going to be hard to do because everything's been destroyed in their absence, because these people are so mean and cruel and wanting to have a damaging effect. It just burns me so much. If you haven't seen Russ Vought, Russ the Puss, hey Frankie, if you haven't seen Russ the Puss tell you and me and all bureaucrats and all elected officials that we need to fear them. How are those not fighting words for Americans? I'm supposed to fear you, Russ the Puss, Russ Vought, like the weakest, meekest little man I ever saw. And because he can send all his thugs out there, they're gonna send tweets at me. No, America has a backbone way thicker than these racist, traitor, rapist, Tate brother Republicans realize. Yeah, come after me. Come, bring it. We all want it. I'm not one of these pussies that's afraid of you, right? I can't wait. I wish I could get into politics. I would love to have Donald Trump mention my name. It would make me so happy. So, yeah, and I am not alone. I'm not alone, all right? Real Americans have a backbone and stand up to bullies. And this guy's yeah, you know what I'm going to say. It's kind of a bad word in the toxic masculinity era. But they're pussies. Republicans are un-American, white, inferiorist, anti-nationalist pussies. Sorry if that offends you. Jesse Dollamore, just notice my channel. I send Jesse Dollamore messages. Please notice me, Jesse. We would love our president if it were. Yeah, what if we had a president that gave a shit? Like, you could do so much good from that position, right? You could influence people's lives so much. By the way, I don't want to be called an influencer. That's just, I don't think that's a compliment. But as a president, a person could influence people. They could be like, hey, let's all eat right. Sweet, yeah. What if the president was like, let's eat right, let's exercise, let's be really nice to our neighbors, let's commit no crimes today. You know, if you're gonna commit a crime, and because your needs are such that you would need to commit a crime just to eat, we got this program. Give a call to this number. We'll help you avoid crime. Like, I think we used to have things like that. You know, when Democrats are doing it, then that's looked upon like it's a bad thing. Anyway, whatever. Yeah. Oh, man. All right. Thank you guys for watching. I love y'all. Thanks for watching my channel. I'm sure gonna have either YouTube is taking my subscribers away, or I offend somebody every time I'm on here because my numbers just keep going down. But don't confuse me with somebody that gives a shit about that, because that's not a real world. Like, how's that? A week ago, maybe 10 days now, I was on Facebook for 30 minutes. And those Facebook thoughts are still swirling around my brain. They're so unhealthy. It's so bad for your brain. So yeah, I try not to get caught up. And if you haven't noticed, I get triggered by people sometimes when they leave messages. And I can become not a very nice person. And that's my PTSD, you know, and my sense of self-pride, which gets caught up in this shit. Because I'm not one of these, like Liza Iglesia, whatever her name is. She's like, oh, I quit reading comments like in 2018. I went sober or something like that. And there have been times when I haven't, and I've missed whole blocks, especially at the beginning. But what am I doing? Pouring myself more whiskey. I don't know what I'm doing. So, yeah, I don't even know what I'm talking about anymore. All right. Do no harm, do no crime. Let's make the world a better place today. Don't vandalize a Tesla unless it's in a Tesla parking lot. Just kidding. Would never. But I don't mind seeing all that stuff. Although don't do that, because you're just allowing them to what? Lock you up as a terrorist and sweep you off the streets and disappear you. Which is so freaky. They're doing that right now, just like the Gestapo. And they're taking people to concentration camps. Prisons run for profit. In other words, the prison benefits if they can keep you there longer. However long, every day longer they can keep you there, they benefit, just like a mental institution, which is why mental institutions can't always be trusted. Like, all these young people are so open to wanting to tell everybody that they're about to commit suicide, don't realize they're giving up all their rights in that process. They're gonna be locked up and if you're suicidal, work it out. Don't tell the authorities. Tell friends of yours maybe. Find safe spaces to talk about it. But if you tell a therapist, they're gonna lock you up that day. You tell your psychiatrist, they're gonna lock you up that day. And you're going to lose your rights to freedom. So, yeah, that's another weird subject. Anyway. And if you can harbor someone who thinks that they're under threat of the United States government disappearing them, please offer that person your couch. Right? It's the least we can do for each other. Help each other hide from the secret police. And I think Faraday cages might be a good idea for your phones. I think they're tracking, in many cases, these people with their phones using the evil technology that Peter Thiel, one of his companies, Pegasus, the spy software that infects phones. It was developed, I think, in Israel by a South African who's got all the government contracts, Peter Thiel. Okay, I'm gonna shut up. Enough of this. Thank you. All right, I'm gonna go back to work, watching the news, writing it down, commenting on it. Sorry, it's so awful. Really am. I wish I could tell you the news is gonna be good tomorrow. I really do. I really do. I have good news. I do have good news, okay? But it's personal. For those of you who are nice enough to care about me personally, I just found out my first month's rent was gonna be the March, but then they postponed it. It was gonna be $2,300, which seems scary as shit and gonna ruin me, maybe make me homeless. And then it was gonna be $1,700 because there's only one of me instead of two. Right, with $2,300 for every two people. I wrote a little letter, said, look, man, I ain't got no job, I'm in school, I got no money, so we're all supposed to write letters to try to get a deal. And then the deals were rolled out, and it was $50 rent, which, is upsetting to the people that are really paying your rent. Good question. And he's still in this kind of housing, but they've offered me the discount, so I think that means I'm only gonna have to pay $50 a month, which, thanks to the one person that's contributed to my channel, the money she gave me is gonna last for like 2.5 more months, because I'm not gonna have to pay rent. I'm only gonna spend money on food at Costco and gas, and I have to re-up on my car insurance. But that's, like I said, if I just have faith, everything's gonna work out all right. And now I have the green light to live here for a little longer at a very affordable rate, while I think I'm gonna finally get out there and get a job and start earning. And so that's positive, and I hope, yeah. And then, also my old landlord who owned the house, who's going to rebuild, he's going to build a little bit after everybody, but he did insinuate that he'd like me to re-rent after he rebuilds. So that's good, because good chance I might end up living in the exact same place with the exact same neighbors, with the exact same parking conundrum. Moving forward. So that is positive. And what else? And then there's these apartments that I would like to get. If you're aware of the West Side, there's all these housing they're building, and I don't know how to get in there. I want to get in there. I pray I get in there. I'm still waiting to get a case manager, supposedly. Plus, work takes your mind. Yes, it does. Work is really healthy. The routine of work is really healthy. It's the pandemic, and then this has sort of taught me, like, the challenge for retired people. Like, as soon as you retire, holy shit, you got to figure out how to be self-motivated, inspired. Like, you might think, I'm going to get all this stuff done, but you also might just get lazy, and laziness will kill you, right? So sometimes the best thing for us is to have something to toil on. That's why I dream of having a yard again someday, so I can have a garden to toil in, and maybe have a life so stable I could have a dog. That would be so cool. Maybe a cat. Start making my cat and dog videos. Maybe a goat. Anyway, I dare to dream. I dare to dream. And that's, look, like, as we're destroying farmers' lives and everything, like, what if we had a program where we were like, okay, look, we're just going to, because we got an eminent domain, we're just going to take land from these billionaires that own all the farmland, as much as we want and need, and every person in our nation who wants to work the land, if you want to, you don't want to live in a little apartment with no gardening space, you want to spend all your time with your hands in the dirt, raising some food or some animals, let's just give that to them for free. Here you go. Here's a piece of land. Get to work. Work 12 hours a day, 12 days a week, you know what I mean? And provide food for us all, and connect yourself and get out of that apartment. there's a lot of people that would want to do that, actually, believe it or not. And I say we give that opportunity to them. Just like anybody that wants to start a business, right? Like, why don't we have a program? It's just like, oh, you want to start a business? Let's just make it super easy. Let's green light you on every step, and maybe not even give you ownership of it until you earn it for a year or two by showing up. But these people are willing. There are people out there willing to work freaking 10 hours a day, 7 days a week, starting their own business, growing food for everybody. Anyway, again, if I was president, the things I would do. Anyway, why not celebrate people willing to do the work? And how crazy is it? How far we've come from caring about people who do the work in the pandemic and forcing them to go to work, even if it kills them, to, hey, we don't need you anymore. Yeah, retirement's awesome, but you gotta stay busy, you gotta stay focused, you gotta get out there, you gotta find motivating factors, right? Like, anyway, and if you suffer trauma, shit, that's gonna screw you up. But yeah, so yeah, retirement's interesting because the pandemic gave us a little taste of what that might be like. And some people were really good at doing everything, cleaning their house, getting organized. And then I was just watching people die on television going, oh, fuck, this sucks. Pardon me for swearing. That could be the whiskey. Maybe not. Could be the traitor in the White House. Anyways, all right. Love you guys. If you don't want to complicate, if you want to have a good life, it's pretty easy. You got to avoid the troublemaking spots like drinking and driving, snorting anything. Don't take pills. Don't gamble. Wear condoms. Don't get in the wrong relationships. We've seen too many people commit suicide or homicide because of that, right? And if you know a violent person, don't spend any time with them ever again. Because if you think they're only going to be violent towards other people, that's not true. They'll eventually beat the shit out of you. So, if they're violent, just stay away and punish them. Say, hey man, you're going to have to change your ways if you want to have people like me around you. So, anyway. And I'm telling you that because I once got the shit kicked out of me by a guy I thought was like one of my best friends. Because we got too drunk together, and he was violent. Good old Dean Smith. How's that for a common name? Yep. And how about this for crazy? I waited on his brother-in-law. Okay. This guy's sister was married to him, and this guy ended up being working hard, being successful, but always having this violent side. And but yeah, 30 years later, I'm like, I went to Santa Rosa High School, and I was like, oh, do you know this guy? And he's like, oh yeah. I was like, oh, interesting. And we talked about it, and I was like, at the end, I'm like, so that guy beat the shit out of me. He taught me a valuable lesson. He's like, he insinuated that there'd been some other situations in that guy's life, but I think he's, basically lived a productive life. I didn't press charges or call the cops I had, my tooth went through my cheek here, I had a cut here. I was so lucky not to lose cheekbones and nose. My nose was all right, but I was just worked, just bloody, he was just working on me. I was passed out drunk, and he was just hitting me till two friends saved my life. And that's a story. If I interview my friend John Ryan, whose cousin announces the Giants games, Mike Kruko's cousin, John Ryan, if I interview him, he's one of the guys that saved my life probably that day. So that might be a good subject of conversation. So when I tell you don't hang out with violent people, it's because I made that mistake, and I got this shit kicked out of me by a guy I thought was my friend. So, in many of my cases, my advice comes from experience. I also have several friends that killed themselves after being in the wrong relationship, which is why, one of the many reasons, I'm so happy to be single. Oh, how about that lady? Oh, how about my prediction coming true? Oh, this sick and twisted woman who locked her son up for 20 years, torturing him, nearly killing him. She looked like a MAGA mom as much as any MAGA mom. She looked just like Lori Daybell, another MAGA mom who we now know is a MAGA mom. These psycho and Chad Daybell, the people that kill their children, yeah, they're evangelical Christians. And that's the scariest thing. All these psycho evangelical psychos who are worshiping the devil, wanting Armageddon because, you know, if we could just have nuclear war, you know, come out of that, the second coming of Jesus. That's where this shit is headed, unfortunately, if we don't find a way to stop it. It hasn't happened yet, so history isn't over yet. We haven't nuked ourselves yet. So let's hope those people stop being Republicans. More veterans speak out. We do have elections. Let's hope we have elections in 2 years, and we vote these people out in droves and send an intense message. But I mean, my God, I don't even know if we're safe. Cash Yap and freaking Pam Bondi. Oh, they're so dangerous. Oh, and Todd Blanche, so dangerous to democracy, and not to mention Trump and Elon Musk and fuck Amazon and fuck Tesla for life. No one who cares about anything that's decent will ever buy a Tesla again. And thank God at this point now there's just a shit ton. There is a shit ton of competition. You don't have to buy a Tesla if you want to buy an electric car. There's like 10 other options. So yeah, Tesla's done. I would not. It is so scary. Thank God we have each other. Whiskey, weed, and a sense of humor. Oh yeah, Eileen Cannon. He just mentioned her again yesterday. I already told you she's gonna be the next Supreme Court justice. And he just happened to mention her again yesterday. All my predictions are coming true because they're so easy to see, right? An ignorant, low IQ, racist, traitor, rapist is so easy to predict. Someone who hates the Constitution. Like, is it really hard to see the future news? Like, sales of Crown Royal just went skyrocketing. They can't make enough of it, no matter how high the tariffs are. All right, yeah. God bless America. Let's drink some Canadian whiskey, and let's hope Kentucky and Tennessee figure it out, huh? My God. And Alabama. Oh, my God. My brother is alive, bitch. Hey, you know what car looks most like? Tell your brother to go get a bunch of Mazda symbols to put on his car, because Mazda, I drove one of those Mazdas. It looks a lot like it. It really does. And Toyota's Priuses look a lot like a Tesla. Man, resale value. So that's going to be another future story. Well, when we track the resale value of Teslas, it used to be here, and then it was here, and then he moved into the White House, and then went down to here, and then everyone started burning them and vandalizing them, and then it went down to here. Meanwhile, Musk is going to try to get y'all back by just selling a Tesla for 30 grand, with government subsidies, no less. Yeah. How about that advertisement? And again, during that, what did we learn? Oh, yeah, that's right. Trump's never had a driver's license. That little rich boy never worked a day in his life, never had a real job, never had a W-2, never been in a grocery store, never purchased any groceries, never driven a car, never had a driver's license, right? He's so American. Can't read, functionally illiterate. He's just so much like all the Americans I know. Yeah, he is working for Putin. And if Putin were to show the world the dossier, the amount of times he's worked for Putin, all the different things he's done for Russia, like truly exposed all the crimes, all the top secret documents he's given to Russia, like when he's in a private room with them and he's just handing them the shit. Ugh. Yeah. Yeah, I know. My dad died, and he was deplorable for a lot of reasons. He probably had sex with 100 women while he was married to my mom. Of course, he was a Republican with all those Republican Christian morals and values. and he supported Trump, right? He also disinherited his whole family and left everything for a gold digger, like a typical Republican, but and was totally insecure his whole life. But yeah, one more reason to disrespect the legacy of my own father is that he voted for these racist pig traitors his whole life, blind faith, just like a dumb religious person, blind or military, blind faith. They just follow and do what they're told. And my dad is a sad, will always be a sad excuse for a human being. And he didn't have to be, right? He could have just cared a little bit about anything or anyone, never did, right? So sad. So, and if there is a heaven, you're going to go there by being a nice person. There is no world where I would believe in any Christian faith where, you can rape children and end up in heaven. No, that ain't happening. But they like to tell themselves that. No, the only way you'll go make it to heaven is by being a nice person. Look, you can steal hotel towels. So one thing God says, that's cool. But, you can't rape kids or murder people, starve people to death. And yeah, like evangelicals who, yes, really. Yeah, you can steal hotel towels, still make it into heaven. That's true. Everyone in Hawaii needs that to be true because we all have hotel towels. No person in Hawaii that lives here has anything but hotel towels in his in his towel closet. It's kind of funny. You go to the beach anywhere in Hawaii, you know what every person's going to have? A hotel towel that was taken from a hotel like 6 months or a year ago. So, or 5 years ago or 10 years ago. Anyway, it's kind of a funny thing because when I first moved here, people were like, come visit you, and then they bring you hotel towels. And you're like, that's the one thing I don't need is hotel towels. I already have too many towels at home. I'm trying to figure out what to do with them. And you thought, oh, you're going to need a towel in Hawaii, so I'll bring you. Anyway, if you visit your friend in Hawaii, don't bring a hotel towel, Take him to Costco. Say, I'm going to buy $100 worth of groceries for you at Costco. That'd be the greatest gift you could ever give a person in Hawaii. Well, you didn't, right. But if you lived here, you need towels all the time. And, you stayed at one of these hotels that your mom or your brother, your sister did. And when you were there, you picked up a hotel towel. Or you just cruised through the property one day and picked one up. I don't know how everyone gets them. I know how I got them, unscrupulously. It is the one crime I admittedly have committed. And will commit again. Judge me as I must be judged. Yeah. In fact, I'm going to start doing videos, go swim and lap videos from hotels that I snuck into. Because that is a favorite pastime for people in Maui. We like to sneak into hotel pools because you don't really have to sneak in. You just walk in and act like you own the place. And if you wear preppy clothes, if you're white, no, you don't have to be white. But, just look like a tourist, man. No one's going to even think twice. And just get right in the pool and stay in the pool while you want to be in a pool. And then the rest of the time, just go somewhere else. But if you want to be in a pool, you walk in any property and just get in the pool. And, so I'm going to start doing that. But I have to hide where I'm at because I think that would be trespassing. And people could come after me for that. So I'm going to have to obfuscate where I'm at when I'm doing it. Who knows? I could be in my pool legally, just pretending to be in a snuck-in pool. So there's that. I'll just claim I was always in this pool, and it was always a ruse. But in reality, I'll probably be in a hotel pool. I have one that I particularly like. That will be the only one I don't show you. My husband. Oh wow! Now we're going to Kauai, but put us. Interesting. Yeah, South Maui is an interesting thing because you got Wailea, which is just not real. It's not there's no community there. It's just hotels. It's just money rich out of not Maui people, right? And then there's Kihei, which is like the Bakersfield of Maui. It's where the meth and the crime happens. And although it's also got a lot of good beaches and good people in Harbor Gate, it's not a bad place. It's just a lot different than Wailea, which has no soul, and then Kihei, which struggles a little bit. Anyway, used to be that Black ash would just rain all over Kihei from the sugar cane industry, which would just light its fields on fire. If you didn't know it, it's interesting, right? Yeah, just black ash, black rain. Used to have it here too. When I first moved here, they were burning cane on this side, right next to the road. You'd be driving by, they'd be burning the sugar cane right there, which is why it took me a while to figure it out. Which is why there's this old school reputation of the disappearance of bodies in cane fields, right? Because if a body ends up in a cane field, well, that cane field's going to get set on fire down the road after it decays, right? And, you know, the lack of evidence, it'll be gone forever, right? Wonder how many bones have been scooped up when they were out there picking up freaking cane fields. But yeah. All right. I'm sorry that our Constitution is upside down. It's so sad. I hope we get it back, you know? So sad. Here's crazy. Here's a true story. I was training for a triathlon, riding my bicycle around at like 12:30 at night, right? And I was going by the banyan tree, the famous banyan tree where, you know, they're hoping it comes back to life and all that. Well, there were 6 cops and an ambulance. And one, I guess, kind of crazy person who was saying stuff, supposedly threatening to kill himself. I don't know what he was saying. He had long hair, could have been a Native American, Hawaiian, Mexican, Filipino, I don't know, brown skin though guy. And you're not gonna believe this, right? And there was one other person walking by. 6 cops, one of them peels off, goes out over to the guy, confronts him, and then punches him, knocks him out to the ground. Then 6 cops jump on him. Stewie was there. He's dead now. The Captain Stewie, he was there. And they just beat the shit out of him on the ground, like on his stomach, hitting him in the kidneys. 6 of our local cops. I watched this shit. It pissed me off so much. You have no idea. And there was an ambulance waiting for him because they knew they were going to beat the shit out of this guy or something. Anyway, they beat the shit out of him. He went off in an ambulance. And I rode my bicycle around to these guys. Said, so please tell me that guy did something wrong. Please tell me that guy did something wrong. I confronted all these cops. And by the way, the guy next to me is like, that's some Rodney King fucking shit right there. That's what the guy says to me. Right? So, and then this little bald, angry little white howly cop comes up to me, you know. First they're like, oh, hey, you need to get out of the street, like, you know, threatening to like do something because I was on my bicycle on the street. You need to be on the sidewalk or okay, so I got on the sidewalk. Okay, so now I'm on the sidewalk, so please tell me. That guy did something wrong. And this little fucking punk ass bitch, 5'5" cop, bald head comes up to me and says, oh, he was threatening to kill himself. I'm like, oh, so you had to beat the shit out of him? Like, he was threatening to hurt himself, so you had to just hurt him a lot? Like, it made no sense to me. It hurt my heart. That was like 2013, 2014, 11 years ago. A lot of those guys are retired, dead. It was this one big local guy, like 6'4", gray hair, old cop there. I'm sure he's retired and probably dead, like Stewie. How about Captain Stewie? Dead Captain Stewie. Everyone loved him in our town because he was a straight shooter. And he told us the truth. Here's the truth. And this is why, while I saw that and that was offensive and bothers me and all that, there were reasons to love our local cops and are reasons because I bet they still kind of run with this energy. But he came and spoke to all the new employees at Duke's, right? It was 200 employees. And he said to us, don't make us do our jobs, right? We don't want to do our jobs. Don't make us get off our ass and have to come arrest you because you're such a dipshit, right? We just want to like kick back like you do. So don't make us do our jobs. Versus the cops that are trying to intervene, trying to pull people over for no reason and cause harm to them, right? Like that's what you want to hear from your cops. Just make us do our jobs, right? Because otherwise we don't really want to do our jobs. We just want to chill out. That's a great message. I always love Captain Stewie for that. So I got mixed feelings. The lunch buffet. Which Dukes are you talking about? Did you know that the Dukes in Waikiki, because there's several of them, but the Dukes in Waikiki is the #1 grossing restaurant in the world. The #1, right? I opened 2 Dukes. I opened Dukes in Malibu in the summer of '96, and I opened Dukes in Maui in 2009. But our sister restaurant, Oahu, that restaurant is booming. They open at 7. They're slamming for breakfast. Slamming. Lunch, slamming. Dinner, slamming. Bar, slamming. They are selling, turning over, sell all day, every day. So yeah, it's kind of cool. I've worked in restaurants that are the busiest in the world. Now, before the one on the green in Central Park, the famous restaurant, Donald Trump was actually in a movie in that restaurant. Anyway, that was the leading grossing restaurant in the world, but because of some bullshit in New York, they got rid of it. They lost their lease, or they didn't want to continue the restaurant. But that was doing $27 million a year. Last I heard, Duke's was doing 24, but that was years ago. So now it's probably doing 26. Probably doing more than $2 million a month on average. More than $500,000 a week, like $100,000 a day. A tavern on the green, yeah, that's it. Yeah, Duke's does over $100,000 a day in business, right? Like in a month, they do more than most restaurants will do in a year, or in 2 years. So, that's some of my restaurant experience. I've worked for like 30 restaurants, but 20 years were spent with TS Restaurants, opening 2 different Dukes, Hula Grill, and Jake's in Lake Tahoe. Pretty cool. If you got to work in a restaurant, working in one right on the ocean or right on the lake in Lake Tahoe at sunset every night is a pretty nice experience as it goes. You know what I mean? And you're moving around. You're not sitting by a desk, so your heart's moving, your blood's pumping. Your work week is a 25-hour, 30-hour work week. It's pretty sweet. The Russian Tea Room. Wow, on 57th Street, which I walked by on my live walkthrough in New York City, and I was like, wow, I know. And I think I've looked up, there's a whole story about that Russian Tea Room, but that's a historical place. And I happened to just walk by. It's in my video when I was visiting my daughter. I was asked how my son's doing. He's working hard. He doesn't have any time for his dad. He never calls me. He never says anything to me. He never looks me up. It's as if I don't exist to both my children, which is fine. Because if the worst thing happens is that your kids are super independent and they're just too busy for you, and it's cats in the cradle time, I'll deal with it. I can accept it. As long as I know what's up, as long as you know what I mean? Like if I thought they wanted a relationship, they wanted to be close, if they wanted anything from it, I would want to be there, give it to them in any way, shape, or form, times 1,000. But if they ain't interested, if they don't got time, whatever, I ain't gonna let it make my day shitty. I'm gonna have a great life with or without my kids. I do hope that they'll want to spend time, but I embarrass them. Okay, my doing this, wanting to do comedy when I'm out in public, I talk to strangers. I embarrass them all the time because they were just so concerned about the fears that are being put into them, and they don't know how to break the chains of their own mind and be comfortable in their skin and not give a shit about what someone else is doing. So it's all good. But if I can turn all that stuff that annoys them into some dinero, if I get a Netflix special and become a famous comedian that everybody likes, maybe I'll get my kids back. I don't want to become a famous comedian and have money for any of the normal reasons. Just to get into politics, which is stupid, to find my family roots again, and to have my kids like me. All the things that my ex-wife values would be everything I would have if I had money and fame and people like me. That would be the final rub. It would feel good. Because that would be the only moment she would ever wish she'd still been married to me, would be if I got super rich someday, and it could have been money she could have stole from me. Yeah. Anyway, and I bet she sues me before you know it. My daughter, she got me to sign a thing saying that I'd pay for I'd give my kids money till they were 25 years old, and my daughter's 24, and I got another year left, and you know, anyway, wow, I'm watching a whale out there, a baby whale with the mama and the whole family out there, because it's puff, puff, puff. There's like 6 whales right there. Anyway, okay, still, look at that, 100 minutes now, 40 extra. At 57 minutes, I said I'm going to stop this. I am 43 minutes past that. Anyway, I digress. I can't believe they don't like you. It's the age, so much going on. Yeah, but also, yeah, I mean, they've been influenced by their incredibly self-centered, selfish mom, who, by the way, when we broke up, she was cheating on me. Like, one of my worst memories is going into Maui Bruco with my 2 kids and seeing her on a date when we were met to a dentist, like a brand new dentist, 27-year-old brand new dentist. She was the hygienist, like, that she worked with when she was 39, 12 years, whatever. Anyway, yeah, that's my ex-wife, the woman who, and then she figured out how to steal everything from me in the divorce. Oh, that's a whole nother story. That's gonna be yeah, yeah. I got so many 1-hour comedy specials coming. You have no idea, on so many subjects. How about all these people that talk about how rough their life was in the 70s and 80s, how crazy it was. Oh, nobody, whatever. I had no seatbelt on. I've never heard the person from the 80s say, oh, I survived smoking crack. I survived smoking crack, okay? And that's actually in 1988, 89, when George Bush got into office and lowered the price of cocaine dramatically, thanks to the CIA importing so much of it with the Bill Clinton family. Which is why Clinton killed those kids in Arkansas, where the cocaine was getting dropped off on those railroad tracks. If you haven't heard that story, that's the reason to not like Bill Clinton. I mean, raping those girls is second to the murder, the mass murder that Clinton and his wife perpetrated. Nevertheless, he was the only president in my life to have a surplus budget. So fiscally responsible, but a murderer and probably a rapist. Good old Bill Clinton. I mean, I wonder why. I mean, I don't challenge the reasons people don't like him on the right, but that's still not a reason to it's still not a reason to be a Republican. It still isn't. Oh, and how do you like the difference morally, just as far as like cheating on your wife goes? Like, Trump has sex with porn stars while his wife is pregnant, right? Who never slept with him again after that. But because we know that, because she's, Stormy Daniels told us what Trump told her, which is that Melania don't sleep with him. Oh shit, I lost my place again. Could be the whiskey or the cannabis. I'm not really sure. Just, oh my God. So I'm getting older, and all of a sudden my balance isn't as good as it used to be. I feel like I'm a little bit drunk. Like if a cop asked me to do walk a straight line right now, sober as hell, I'm not sure if I could. And hopefully that's not like speaking to some greater illness that's coming. But yeah. Anyway, it's all so frustrating. Anyway, thanks for sharing the god-awful news with me and enjoying this. And I love you guys. And, make the world a better place. Keep being you. And I don't know what else to say except I'll see you tomorrow. Just hope there's some good news, but pretty sure we all know that's not going to happen. And so on. All right, so I'm going to get out there on the ocean maybe. I've got a couple trips on tape, I guess you could say, that I'm going to try to play with, and maybe I'll just post them, or maybe I'll actually try to do some editing. I don't know. I still don't really know how. Anyway, all right. I love you guys. I'll talk to you later. Do no harm, do no crime. Thanks for watching. All good things and all good time. And really be nice to each other. All right. Aloha.